Quiara Alegría Hudes' Water by the Spoonful, 2011, is a deeply humanistic and emotionally rich play that explores trauma, addiction, redemption, and family in a digitally connected, postmodern world. As the second play in Hudes' Elliot trilogy, it follows Elliot Ortiz, a Puerto Rican Iraq War veteran, as he wrestles with the ghosts of war and family dysfunction. The play deftly intertwines two seemingly disparate worlds: the real-life struggles of Elliot and his cousin Yasmin in Philadelphia, and the virtual interactions of recovering crack addicts in an online chat room. These threads ultimately converge, revealing a profound meditation on healing, connection, and forgiveness. Taking its title from a method of hydrating a child with spoonfuls of water during illness, a real incident from Elliot's childhood, Water by the Spoonful reflects on the tiny, deliberate acts of care that help people survive overwhelming odds. Setting: the play is set in Philadelphia, in 2009, and transitions between real-life locations, cafes, apartments, a cemetery, and the virtual space of an online support forum for recovering addicts. The nonlinear structure allows Hudes to blend physical and digital realities, reflecting the fragmented yet interconnected nature of contemporary life. Elliot and Yasmin. Elliot Ortiz, now in his 20s, is a Marine veteran who served in Iraq. He suffers from PTSD and recurring pain from a leg injury. Haunted by the ghost of a man he killed during the war, Elliot is emotionally volatile and psychologically fragile. Elliot works at a Subway sandwich shop and aspires to be an actor. His cousin Yasmin, a music professor, is going through a divorce. She serves as Elliot's emotional anchor and is also mourning the recent death of Ginny, Elliot's adoptive mother and Yasmin's aunt. Ginny was a pillar of their community, known for caring for neighborhood children and mentoring addicts. As they prepare for Ginny's funeral, Elliot and Yasmin grapple with unresolved family trauma, particularly the history of Elliot's biological mother, Odessa, aka Haiku Mom, whom Elliot disowned due to her addiction and past failures. Odessa, Haiku Mom, and the chatroom. Odessa is a recovering crack addict and the moderator of an online support forum for fellow addicts. She goes by the username Haiku Mom and runs the space with compassion and order. The forum is a sanctuary for addicts from around the country who are in various stages of recovery. We meet Orangutan, a brash and lonely young woman living in Japan, formerly known as Yoshiko, who is trying to escape her past in the United States. Chutes and Ladders, a middle-aged IRS worker and recovering addict, who is warm, wisecracking, and deeply afraid of change. Fountainhead, a newcomer to the chatroom, a white, upper-middle-class man from Philadelphia whose life is unraveling due to his crack addiction. The chatroom serves as an emotional refuge for these characters, who share their daily struggles, relapses, and milestones. Despite never meeting in person, they form a tight-knit digital community defined by radical honesty and mutual support. Conflict and convergence. As Odessa continues to support her virtual family, she tries to reconnect with Elliot, offering money for Ginny's funeral. Elliot, harboring deep resentment, violently rejects her. He blames her for a childhood incident when he became ill and she neglected him during a drug binge, forcing Ginny to intervene and nurse him back to health, with water by the spoonful. Meanwhile, Orangutan urges Chutes and Ladders to take a leap and meet her in Japan, pushing him out of his comfort zone. Fountainhead, initially condescending and ashamed, begins to open up and seeks Odessa's mentorship. Tensions rise when Odessa relapses after a confrontation with Elliot. Her breakdown devastates the online group, particularly Fountainhead, who becomes a stand-in moderator in her absence. Resolution and transformation. The play ends with a series of symbolic and literal reconnections. Yasmin and Elliot begin to process their grief and consider forgiving Odessa. Fountainhead, despite his privileged background, commits to caring for Odessa during her recovery, showing real growth. Chutes and Ladders finally travels to Japan to meet Orangutan, embracing change and human connection. In the final scenes, Elliot recites a monologue in Spanish, a healing ritual for the ghost of the man he killed in Iraq. This act of spiritual closure and cultural reconnection signals a new chapter in Elliot's journey. Character analysis. Elliot Ortiz. Elliot is a character caught between multiple worlds: war and peace, childhood and adulthood, anger and healing. He embodies the lasting scars of violence, both domestic and military, and struggles with identity, trauma, and forgiveness. His disdain for his biological mother reflects not just personal betrayal but a deeper fear of inherited pain. His physical injury symbolizes his emotional wounds, and his eventual act of prayer and remembrance reveals a desire for spiritual and cultural wholeness. Elliot is a microcosm of post-war America, brave, broken, and searching for redemption. Yasmin Ortiz. Yasmin is the emotional and intellectual heart of the play. As a music professor, she brings a philosophical perspective to the chaos around her. Her failed marriage and career challenges parallel the disintegration of familial structures. She is both caregiver and truth-teller, challenging Elliot while honoring Guinea's legacy. Yasmin's ability to navigate grief and complexity makes her a stabilizing force and a symbol of resilience and growth. Odessa, Haiku Mom. Odessa is a woman with a painful past and a redemptive present. Her creation of the chatroom is an act of atonement, a way to give back what she once destroyed. As Haiku Mom, she is nurturing and patient, but her real-life persona is frail and haunted. Her relapse reveals the non-linear nature of recovery. She is a character of contradictions, saintly and broken, strong and vulnerable. Odessa's journey highlights the importance of community in healing, both virtual and real. Fountainhead. Fountainhead is initially the most unsympathetic character, a privileged man in denial. His arrogance masks desperation. Over the course of the play, he undergoes significant change, learning humility, honesty, and responsibility. His decision to care for Odessa after her relapse is a transformative moment. It shows that recovery is not just about sobriety, but about becoming a better human being. Orangutan. Orangutan, formerly known as Yoshiko, is a character in exile, from her country, her identity, and her past. Her relocation to Japan is a search for origin and reinvention. Her fiery personality masks deep loneliness and craving for authenticity. Her bond with Chutes and Ladders is touching, awkward, tender, and courageous. She represents the global reach of addiction and the universal need for connection. Chutes and Ladders. Chutes and Ladders, or Clayton, is the elder of the group and a figure of warmth, humor, and fear. He is scared of change but deeply committed to recovery. His backstory, estranged from his son, still haunted by past actions, gives him emotional depth. His eventual decision to fly to Japan and meet Orangutan is one of the play's most hopeful moments, symbolizing the possibility of second chances. Major themes. 1. Addiction and recovery. At the heart of the play is the painful, ongoing process of recovery. Hudes refuses to romanticize addiction. Instead, she presents it as a complex web of trauma, shame, and hope. The characters relapse, regress, and restart, mirroring the real-life challenges of sobriety. The chatroom becomes a metaphor for the modern fellowship, a space where people can connect beyond geography and stigma. Recovery is shown not as a straight path, but as a series of small, courageous decisions, often taken, water by the spoonful. 2. Family and forgiveness. The play explores the fractures and bonds of family, especially in the Ortiz clan. Elliot's resentment toward Odessa is rooted in abandonment and betrayal, while Yasmin tries to bridge gaps. Guinea's memory acts as a spiritual glue, a symbol of unconditional love and maternal strength. Forgiveness, though hard-earned, emerges as a central value. Hudes suggests that healing requires not forgetting pain, but choosing compassion despite it. 3. Trauma and ghosts. Eliot's visions of the ghost from Iraq highlight the theme of unresolved trauma. War is not just an external event but a psychological scar. The ghost represents both guilt and the imperative to remember. The ghost also reflects the broader specter of colonialism and cultural erasure, as Eliot struggles to find meaning in his heritage and language. 4. Digital connection and community. The online forum is a central narrative device and thematic space. It symbolizes how people create families beyond blood, using technology to share intimacy, pain, and hope. In an era where loneliness is epidemic, the play presents a hopeful vision of digital fellowship, where the anonymity of usernames gives way to authentic human connection. 5. Language and communication. Yasmin's work in music and Eliot's struggle with Spanish illustrate the power and limits of language. The ghost only speaks in Arabic, forcing Eliot to confront the gaps in understanding, both cultural and emotional. The chatroom's written dialogue contrasts with spoken confrontations, showing how people communicate vulnerability in different ways. The play suggests that healing requires both speaking and listening, across boundaries of race, class, and experience. Style and structure. Hudes's writing is both lyrical and grounded, blending poetic dialogue with colloquial realism. The play's structure, fluid transitions between physical and virtual spaces, reflects its thematic interest in interconnection and fragmentation. The dual narrative threads, Eliot, Yasmin and the chatroom, are expertly interwoven, with moments of mirroring and contrast. Hudes uses music metaphorically, referencing John Coltrane, to convey improvisation, rhythm, and emotional depth. The absence of traditional scene breaks reinforces the fluidity of time and space, emphasizing the continuous nature of healing. Symbolism. Water by the Spoonful. The title refers to an actual moment from Eliot's childhood, when he was gravely ill. Odessa, in a drug haze, failed to care for him, and Ginny saved his life by giving him water by the spoonful. The phrase becomes a metaphor for survival, small acts of care in the face of overwhelming adversity. It symbolizes the slow, incremental work of recovery, emotional and physical. It's also an emblem of maternal love, flawed but sustaining. The ghost. The ghost embodies unresolved trauma, guilt, and cultural dislocation. It forces Eliot to confront his past and the consequences of violence. The ghost's silence and foreignness reflect the burden of things left unsaid, and the need to listen beyond language. Conclusion. Water by the Spoonful is a masterful exploration of human fragility and resilience. Through its diverse, richly drawn characters, Quiara Alegría Hudes crafts a narrative that spans continents and chatrooms, war zones and kitchens, showing how pain binds us, but so does hope. The play does not offer easy resolutions. People relapse. Grief persists. Forgiveness is hard. But in every scene, there is the possibility of connection, growth, and healing, spoonful by spoonful. In a world fractured by trauma and distance, Water by the Spoonful reminds us that community can be built, not just on shared experience, but on shared compassion.